Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Wepia and I'm from Obofit. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the last quarter of the year and my very good reminder to you. If you have been following my channel from the beginning of the year, that was like in 1st January, I spoke about planning your year, achieving goals, and all the good stuff in life. Well, that video was nice. It was a banger, in my opinion. It was. And I'm just here to remind you that we are in the last quarter of the year. If you don't know, we are in October, so okay, so God willing, we have like 3 months to go and then we end the year, right? Last quarter. And I just wanted to tell us that remember the goals you set for yourself this year. I truly believe that don't let this year go by and then you start 2023 again with another, I'm going to start pumped up, I'm going to be doing like this, I'm going to be doing like that, and then you still go through 2023 and it becomes a repeated cycle till you die. Because apparently that's what a lot of us do. We start the year with all this energy, grace and poise and everything, and somewhere in March we have lost it and everything just goes like down. So this is like a video to just remind you, if you have lost track, this would be a video for you. And also if you have lost track, I'm just going to link like the previous video about planning your year and other videos I have done concerning that kind of along that line, so that you just watch it and remind yourself and move on in life. But this is for people that have made some kind of mistakes within this year and they just feel like, oh my god, it's not really gonna do. I think the first thing that I would like to talk about is you forgiving yourself. I think that you do yourself some sort of disservice if you can't forgive yourself for maybe the mistakes you have made or the things that you said you were going to do and you didn't do. So let's also call that mistakes. I think you do yourself a great disservice. You are not being kind and you're not being fair to yourself. If anyone should be mean to you, it shouldn't be you. Okay. I think there are lots of mean people to do that work. Don't be one of them. Don't be mean to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. I think for the very first point, forgive yourself. And another thing I believe in about forgiving yourself is that I think it's some sort of pride not to forgive yourself. Like, how proud can you be? Because even Jesus that died for us, we've been offending Jesus before we were born. He forgives us. He tells us that as far as the east is from the west, that's how far he separated our sins from us. He tells us that he doesn't hold our sins against us. And then even the person that owns the time has forgiven you for wasting it, and then you can't forgive yourself. I mean, I think that's a different level of pride, in my opinion. You're just being too proud. So you don't want to be called proud, right? So forgive yourself. And you don't want to do yourself that sort of disservice by being hard on yourself or being mean to yourself. So also forgive yourself. Then I'm going to go back to journaling. Remember when I said that we should journal at the beginning of the year? Write your thoughts. Write. Like, I think that there's so much power in writing, especially for me. I'm a local girl. I like writing. Of course, people will be like, let's type it in our OneNote or something and then just store it on our laptops. That's fine, but I like to journal my thoughts. I like to write it down. So if you feel like you want to go with me, then why not? But you can just type it in your laptop or something and then be going over it anytime. So I digress. Let's go back to the point. Journal, write. You'll be asking me, what should you write? Write down your thoughts. I think that you can lie to everyone else but yourself, on a very serious note. And I'm not using scriptures here because these are very practical, but then as and when scriptures pop up, I will quote them. I think that you can lie to everyone else but you can't lie to you. And I think if you want to as in grow in that aspect or some certain areas of your life, you cannot not be honest with yourself. You can't lie to yourself, right? So the first thing about writing or journaling is be honest with yourself. You can start from January till like now in October. The things you have done that you feel like you have wasted your time, the things you have done that you feel like it's a mistake, you can't really let go, just write everything down. The kind of relationships that you have been with that you feel like, God, if I didn't enter this relationship, I think I would have been better off. Write everything down. And after you have written it down, but before that, I believe that, let me add that, I believe that you need to accept to write it down. Because some people will just be like, it's not me. Like we that's what I'm saying, that you need to be honest with yourself. You need to accept that these things have happened. Accept it. I think acceptance is like is the basic things, craft, like foundation. Just accept that it has happened. That's like a journey to you forgiving yourself. If you can accept that something of that, like you've wasted time, or you have just been aimless, or this year you didn't really do it, the year didn't do for you, like that kind of thing, or the previous quarters didn't do for you. If you can accept it, great. So acceptance, actually I'll say acceptance even before the forgiveness, and now we are talking about writing. So you write everything, just be honest, your honest feedback about yourself. Write every single thing down. Now, after you have written it down, I'm not talking about writing your goals, so because I'm saying that these are things that have happened that didn't let us achieve the goals or stuff like that. Before we go back to restructuring to execute our goals, at least to get something done before 2022 ends, right? So after you have written all these things down, now go through, you're going to repeat forgiveness, right? Go through them. After you have forgiven yourself again, now sit down and write, why did you do? So you go through, so if the first point is, let's say you told yourself that you were going to start working out and be keeping a healthy diet through the year and you didn't do, ask yourself why you didn't do it. The first point, state why. What was the boundary? What was the hindrance to you not being able to do that which you said you were going to do? Were there circumstances that were that's where within your locus of control? Like, could you control them, or you just allowed it? Like, could you control them, and then you just allowed this slip out of your hands because, I mean, it was difficult, or it gets as it be, or something like that? That kind of energy, right? Sit down with each of the points and just ask yourself very genuine questions. Remember, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be honest. You just have to know that you didn't do it, and it's fine that you didn't do it. Because I feel like a lot of times, a lot of us are in denial stage. Like, we just deny everything. If you keep denying, you won't make progress. The moment you begin to accept that this is it and this is what happens, it makes life easier for all of us. Me inclusive. So it doesn't make you feel like what I say here and do all the time is just a waste of time or something like that. It makes me feel fulfilled, because it always gladdens my heart when people send me DMs and go like, okay, this video really helped me or something. Like, it gladdens my heart. So always accept and then move on with it. I think these are the steps that I think we should do. And still on journaling, after you have devised and you have gotten to the root cause of your problems, and you've known that, okay, this is how I did and it didn't do, this is how I did and didn't. Now write actionable steps, as in practical steps, what you can actually do to make sure that you're able to now fully restructure and then like achieve those goals or those aims that you have set for yourself. Now I believe that we need to go beyond the normal standard of just writing the plans and stuff, because a lot of us are really planners. To be very honest, planning is not even like the difficult job, it's the execution part. That's why if you go back, I said that you should write why you weren't able to do it. Is this something that was, because of course life happens, there could be something that happened that just destroyed your plan, or it could be the death of a relative, and if that is the case, my condolences to you and your family. Okay, I pray that God helps you and strengthens you. Amen. Something could just happen that would be, it will just throw you out. You got married, I mean, something can just do you, right? And those things are real. Life happens. But if that wasn't the case and you just decided to be lazy, I think that these, and even if that was the case, these are some of the things that could actually help you out. Okay, so the power of writing is just one of the things. I'm very sure that you are confused that I didn't say pray. I'll talk about it in a video that about prayer and execution. So I just want to leave that because I have stored that for a different video about how Christians pray and we don't execute, right? And another advice that I would want to give is that please take 3 goals at a time, or even just one, and start with the littlest things. I think that a lot of us we set goals that are not reasonable and we can't even action on them because where we are looking at, we don't even have the capacity to execute them. So in as much as, and I don't want to go over these points because I've already stated them in my previous videos concerning our goals and how we should move on and action on them and stuff like that. So I'm going to link those videos at the top here or in the description or whatsoever so that you can check them out and move on in life, right? So thank you for tuning in. I hope this is a great reminder for you as you start your year, and may the good Lord, as you continue the year and we end the year, and may the good Lord help us and grant us the grace. I hope that at the end of this year, when we sit down to talk about if we have achieved our goals or not, you'll be able to give us like some 85% and above. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.